souls, hello and welcome back to Subconscious Food. Today we are talking about judgment, and if you're new to the channel, Subconscious Food gives you the tools, techniques and tips to empower you to live your most happiest, fulfilled and abundant life. Let's get straight on to the video. Now, the reason why judgment is such an important topic is because within our human nature, we definitely, and I know I'm certainly guilty of this from time to time, we judge situations without observing the situation for what it really is. When we judge a situation, we start to question people's beliefs, and we actually send out a lot of negative energy when we are judging anyone. And what do we know? Whatever we give is equal to what we receive. And if we're giving out a bunch of negative energy, then what are we going to get back in return? More of the same in return, which affects our happiness, which affects our fulfillment, which affects our abundance, because we're focusing our energy on judging someone and we're allowing those thoughts to replay in our mind instead of being able to realize this. In our multi-dimensionality, where there are multiple and an infinite amount of probable outcomes, that means that for every single thing that happens, even though we're not necessarily aware of it, so right now I'm talking to a camera, but in another probable outcome I could be talking in front of a stage. In another probable outcome I could be talking to a crew member who works for me. In another probable outcome I could be having my hair and makeup done. In another probable outcome I could be giving directions on, the type of video and content I want to give out and speaking to sponsorships. So there are so many different probable outcomes. There's an infinite amount and an infinite amount of possibilities and realities. So what that means is that it is the same for everyone. So let's say your sister, who you're generally you're fairly close to your sister, but you have very, very different ideas on life. You have very different ways of thinking. It could be the classic example, which I'm sure many of you have gone through, I certainly have, where, you are spiritual and you've got different ideas and you really feel like you grasp the true nature of reality, but for other people that's not something that resonates with them quite yet. Maybe they haven't awoken to this information. Maybe it's not even supposed to be this lifetime that they experience that information. So with that in mind, they are experiencing this reality and you're trying to make them think that this one is correct, but in reality this is the one they're experiencing. This is the event and the experience and the life they're leading. Whether they're conscious or unconscious of it, it doesn't really matter, because you know that when we become conscious of our thoughts, become conscious of our beliefs, then we can start to question them and make sure they align with what we truly want to experience. But other people may not be at that stage yet, and therefore this reality, this version of the now for them is true for them. So let's say they have a very, very strong opinion on veganism, I would say, for example. It is not necessary, and there are many different, again, probable realities of the now of looking at this in different perspectives, but it's not necessary for you to feel like, of course you can talk to someone about veganism or you can share your experiences and share ideas, but you do not have to judge someone to the point where you need to change them in order for them to have and experience the same thing you're experiencing right now in your version of the now, because they are experiencing their own thing. Maybe in this lifetime they're not supposed to be vegan. Maybe that's not what they decided they want to fulfill and achieve in this lifetime. So it's all a matter of perspective, and the easiest way for us to accept that other people are experiencing different things is just refer your mind back to this diagram and just think, everyone is experiencing something slightly different because they're experiencing a slightly different version of the now. And that's why in their slightly different version of the now, they're going to have a different thought pattern. They're going to have a different belief system. They're going to have different ways that they work. It could be conscious or it could be unconscious. And again, that's another thing for them to be thinking about. Of course, you can guide and you can help, you can offer assistance, but when it gets to the point of judgment, that's when you've really got to question whether what you're giving out is equal to what you want to receive. So you bring it back upon yourself instead of projecting it out to them. Now, the other thing that you need to bear in mind when it comes to judgment is, again, what you give is equal to what you receive. So if you believe and you hold a very strong value that you believe that someone is doing X, Y, and Z to you, about you, nothing to do with you, to themselves, and you hold that belief very strongly and you repeat it with repetition and emotion, no wonder it's going to start showing up in your reality, because it's something that you're focusing your energy upon. It's something that you're bringing in, it's something that you're focusing within you that is then being reflected back to you by this other person. So it's giving you a heads up, hey, you're actually focusing your energy quite a lot on this. Maybe you don't want to anymore if it's not serving you for your highest good and your greatest joy. So that's something else to bear in mind. You also have the power, not necessarily to be changing people, but to be able to understand and accept how the universe works, and how energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred or transformed. So if you feel like you are spending too much energy focusing on this person in the middle here, so if you feel like you're focusing too much energy on why, what, how, when someone is doing something, instead of focusing on what you wish to experience, then you know actually that's a little indicator for you to take a step back and to start to observe your thoughts. Because when you start to observe your thoughts instead of be like in it, in the motion, I don't know whether you've ever seen that scene from Friends where Joey gets into the map because he can't visualize. Like, you don't want to be standing inside of the map of emotions, feeling every single emotion. You want to take a step back so you can look at whether what you're feeling is working for you, with what you're feeling is something that you wish to experience. Ever since my spiritual awakening began, this is something that I've definitely had to learn. So I'm honored and very, very grateful to be able to share this information with you. This concept and this principle has helped me immensely to really accept people as they are and to stop judging people and expecting them to be a certain way, because that's when we tend to feel a lot of resistance. We start to feel this like negative energy which we don't wish to experience. And once you become awakened to that, once you become conscious of that, then you can start to see how your actions do affect everything and everyone in your life. And you can start to claim your power back and start to tap in and enjoy that state of, to enjoy that probable outcome and that experience that you wish to have right now. Beautiful souls, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've thoroughly enjoyed sharing this information with you. So if you haven't already subscribed, do hit the subscribe button, turn on bell notifications to be notified every time I post a new video. Until next time, namaste, bye.